Hello and welcome to the weather update. Finally got to see some of this today. Yeah, sunshine in the later part of the afternoon and a little bit in the morning too. And yeah, I got to see some of this, some of this. Yeah, it was mild today though, and also some of this and some of that. Has some scattered clouds in the sky tonight. Kind of looking for that comet, but anyway, let's take a look at the satellite image, and you'll see fairly clear skies, but you see this line that is approaching. That is a cold front that will be moving through Tuesday morning. So let's take a look and run the longer loop of the satellite to show you. So we had some passing clouds here, see some clouds, and then they kind of dissipated as we got toward the later part of the afternoon there, and we got some sunshine. But now you see this cold front approaching. And if we look at the weather map, you will see there is the front right there approaching. You can see it's actually going to cause some ice in parts of the south, interior parts of the south. They're going to have to deal with some ice because there's some cold air behind this, though it's not the Arctic air is waiting in the wings for the weekend, and that's going to be pretty chilly. Looking at the radar right now, you'll see here light snow upstate New York and Buffalo, just very light precipitation along this front. Looking at your current looking at your weather map, you could see we got these ice storm warnings in the south parts of northern, looks like northern Mississippi and Louisiana, and winter storm warnings for parts of Texas, good parts of large part of Texas, and those winter weather advisories continue into the part of the Appalachians, and that wind chill advisory is a sign of the bitter cold air that we are going to be dealing with this weekend. So let's take a look at the observations that we have right now outside, and it's pretty mild again, well above normal. 43 degrees at Farmingdale, 41 at Islip, 33 at West Hampton. So let's take a look and see what our highs were today, and throw the dew points in there too. It feels like there's a little bit of dampness in the air, but not too much dampness. That's why we're not going to see too much precipitation with this front that's going to come through. So let's get the highs on the screen for you. And you see, mid-50s across Long Island. It was very warm today. Mid-50s in Jersey. Pretty much mid-50s across the whole area for highs. Let's see. What about lows? We might have had some radiational cooling. Let's see. Yeah, West Hampton got down below freezing, 28. But most everybody was above freezing, mid-30s to low 40s for lows. And if we go to the Weather Services page here, you'll see they're talking about this bitter cold outbreak here. It says lows Friday night might actually get below zero. We have a shot at some below zero temperatures, perhaps even at the coast. So here we go. Here is the statement on the breaking of the snowfall record. Here we go. 50 years and one day ago today, a new record was broken. It was the latest first measurable snowfall for Central Park. Today, we break that record as no snow was recorded yesterday. This record will be broken every day until measurable snow is observed in the park, and we still do not know when that's going to happen, even though you saw a little bit on the radar. We're not really expecting any accumulation from this snowfall in the morning. So I don't think we're going to see any maybe a couple of flakes. That's going to be it. The ground is pretty warm. Look, it's still 51 in the city right now, and the month is almost over. It's also happens to be one of the warmest months on record, warmest Januaries on record at Central Park too, which will probably be a record too. But we'll go ahead and we'll look at the daily climate report for Islip. High 54, low 34. The average is 44. Normal is supposed to be 31, so you know what that means. We're 13 degrees above normal today at Islip. That's incredible to see, and we are running very. The monthly data will be in soon, and actually I kind of want to go back that because it will be in soon, but I can't resist checking out the preliminary data for Islip and checking out our temperature departure for the month. Look at that, running 9.3 degrees above normal for your high temperature. That's unbelievable for your temperature. 9.3 degrees. That is incredible. That might be a record. We'll have to see. I could also look at Central Park, and they are running, let's see how much above normal they are running. They are running 9.8 degrees, almost a full 10 degrees above normal for the month of January at Central Park. That is incredible right there. That is just incredible. So let's go to the models and take a look at what we have happening. You see there's a weak low offshore. That's not going to affect this. Watch this cold front come through. You'll see it come through. It's not going to be a whole lot with it. It kind of settles to the south tomorrow, which will probably keep clouds around. And then Wednesday, we'll have to see how far this. There's a little bit of light snow, but like I said, I don't expect much accumulation. It's probably just some clouds from this front that's hanging off to the south. This is a weaker high that comes in. Here's a storm system going by to the south on overnight, Thursday night to Friday. Again, relatively flat flow. That's why this could have been, had the trough been more amplified, a snow event, but it's not going to be. Probably, most likely not. It gets going just too far east. And then here comes, look at how tight those isobars are. Look at that. And that's incredible. That's a very strong high pressure system that's going to race into here on Saturday. But then look at that. By Sunday, it's gone. We're back in the warm flow again. And after that, we stay above normal again. You can see that next coastal low, that's going to be rain. So I don't want to get too much into the long range here, but, we kind of did that yesterday. But let's go a little closer now to the northeast, and we will check. Actually, no, I want to do one other thing here. Let's put this to the North American view. So I kind of show you where this cold air is coming from for the weekend and why it's going to be so cold. So you see where the low is going right there, and you see where the high is going. So here's Greenland. Yes, the air is going to come right from Greenland. It's going to be right down Hudson Bay. And we see often our coldest air of the season when we see that kind of setup, when you get it right out of Hudson Bay like that. And that's why I think we are going to see some pretty cold weather. Will we break record lows? You never know. Maybe for the day. We'll have to see. But, yeah, that's why it's going to be so cold. I figured I would show you that, point that out to you. So let's go and look at the HRRR model, which is our short range model here, the 0Z run, and you will see here that you can see that little light rain, light mixed, maybe a little bit right around sunrise there. It's gone. Not much accumulation. No, I don't think there'll be any accumulation from that. That moves away, and then we have another system kind of passing by to the south that could possibly, if you're in Jersey, maybe southern New Jersey gets a little bit of snow out of it. The question is, will New York? We may just be too far north for that. But that possibly could be, even if it's just 0.5, maybe. We'll have to see because it is colder. So maybe a chance, slight chance. That's the best chance we got because after that, you'll see here, it slowly sinks to the south later on Wednesday into Thursday. So we'll see what is the HRRR generating for total snowfall. So you can see here, barely anything. It probably gives us literally the darkest color, 0.1. But if you're in southern Jersey, perhaps Tom's River might actually get an inch or two. Maybe. They actually might get a little snowfall in Jersey, southern New Jersey, perhaps along the coast. Perhaps a little snow. It won't be much, but it might just be an inch or two, just enough to whiten the ground, perhaps briefly in that area. So if you are going to get some snow, you better enjoy it because it'll probably be gone by Thursday. So let's look at our dew points and wind flow. So we can take a look at this front coming through. So you see we have that southwest wind, west-southwest wind tonight. Winds become northerly by morning. That brings in the drier, cooler air. And you'll see that the front kind of gets hung up to the south there. And you can kind of see that boundary sitting there as we get into Wednesday here. And you can see that we stay in the cool air, though. But it's close, and there could be possibly some snow in New Jersey. So things are getting a little interesting now. All right, so a little bit. Between that and the cold air we'll have to deal with. So tomorrow definitely will be colder than today. Highs in the 30s, near normal temperatures for the highs tomorrow, and near normal at night with temperatures in the 20s. But then that's it. That's it for January. Once we're on Wednesday, it might even be colder on Wednesday. Highs may not make it up to freeze. It may just make it to around freezing. The HRRR seems to be running a little colder than the GFS at this regard. If we go to the GFS, you'll see the GFS is a little warmer. So, again, there's model disagreement here with the situation. I have a feeling the HRRR is keeping more clouds around, perhaps. But regardless, let's go ahead and move this ahead, and we'll show you what happens when we get past Wednesday. So here we are. Dry air in place, northwesterly winds. But you see as we get to Thursday, the winds go southwesterly. That'll mean probably a day of above normal temperatures. But then here comes the Arctic front for Friday morning, and that is going to drop those dew points down. Like I said, the source for this air is going to be Greenland, so it's going to be cold. It's going to smell like the ice fields. It's going to be wonderful, so enjoy it because it's only going to be a day or two. And you'll see that really dry air in place. Look at how dry it is on Saturday. North winds, they start to come east later in the day, and that will probably bring a little moisture in from the ocean. Perhaps, if the air is so cold, we might actually get some ocean effect snow showers from that. And then there you go. Southwest wind returns Sunday, bringing us back above normal. So let's go take a look at the actual air temperatures. So as you see, as we get into Thursday, the temperatures rise slightly above normal, probably slightly above normal, not 42 or 43. And then here we are, and I have to look at some more of the models for the snow event, possibly. But I'm not too optimistic about it. So here we are, Friday morning. Friday, you see highs Friday only in the 20s, and they'll be dropping throughout the day. Here we go into the nighttime, dropping temperatures into the teens, and by morning we're in the single digits. The Euro's being even more aggressive with this cold air as well, so I'll have to look at that. And then Saturday, not out of the teens, especially if you're on Long Island. Notice a little warmer in Jersey. You see the center of the cold air is going over New England. I mean, if you're in the mid-Atlantic, you're not even going to feel it as much. It's mainly going to be a shot over New England. And then as we get toward, you can see the temperatures don't really drop too much Saturday night. And then Sunday, we're back rising to near normal. And then after that, we go above normal and it's back into the 40s again. So it's going to be a quick shot of cold air, but it's going to be intense. Because of the way the systems are setting up, it's just coming straight down from the north, and that's usually when we see, I like to say, right out of Hudson Bay. Those are the coldest air masses we can get when they come. The other one we got in December actually went across the country before it got here. This one's coming right from Hudson Bay, so it might actually be colder than the one we had in December, though again very brief. So let's go take a look at the GFS, and we'll just hit the total snowfall on this and see if it's giving New Jersey anything. And it does give the southern part of New Jersey something, but not too many. Again, the resolution on this is very, very low. Let's see if we have the FV3 in place, but that's all right. Yeah, it doesn't really give us much of anything. It gives us something Wednesday morning. It gives the northern area some, maybe a dusting, but I mean it's very, very slight. There's not a lot of moisture to work with. It's a very flat flow. Let's go to the NAM, because we all know the NAM is a little more interesting to look at in this regard. So let's go to the NAM and see what we got on the 0Z NAM here for snowfall. And even the NAM is not really very bullish on this at all. It just has that little bit. So we'll look at the NAM. Look at the NAM 12, and you'll see it actually just would give anything it counts as what happens tomorrow morning. And then that's it. Wednesday is kind of dry. Nothing goes on Wednesday. And then and that stays to the south of us. So yeah, the models kind of don't agree on it. We'll have to see what happens as far as Wednesday is concerned. But, don't get too excited. I mean, maybe you'll see some flakes. The best chance, to see snow, we just don't have anything that's good. I mean, maybe something to cover the car tops. Maybe if you're in New Jersey or parts of the up the Hudson Valley, maybe. But, I mean, it's just not looking very good for snow right now. In fact, it's just crazy. When will Central Park get its first measurable snowfall? I don't have an answer to that question. So let's go and look at the skies. We'll start with the RGM here because, again, the models are kind of all over the place with the skies again. So you'll see the skies cloud up after midnight tonight. You'll see the clouds around tomorrow for much of the day lingering, but clear just to the north, however. And then more clouds for Wednesday to start, but then later on in the day it clears out, especially further to the north. And then Thursday we'll be dealing with a few high clouds from that next system, and that's as far as we've got. There's that Arctic front. You can see it right there. So that's the RGEM, but again, every model has its own opinion. Let's go to the NAM next. Here's the NAM. NAM, again, keeps us in the clouds tomorrow, but for Wednesday, the NAM pushes the clouds to the south. So the NAM and the RGEM are in some kind of an agreement there, all right? GFS is totally different, though. So GFS will use the higher resolution brother of this, and GFS tries to clear it out tomorrow over Long Island, and then has more clouds around Wednesday. Okay, this is missing data, so I'd have to use the 12Z run but you'll see it has more clouds around Wednesday. So we'll have to see. I still think Wednesday's a better bet for seeing more sunshine, but we could still see some sunshine tomorrow, particularly in the afternoon. It depends on how far this front really gets. Now, let's go to the Ventus Sky site. We'll just go over the Ventus Sky site here. And we can also use this for clouds as well. And we can go and shift this to the last day of January right here. So here we are, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, noon, still dealing with the clouds. 1 o'clock, still on the fringe, So you can see how it gets hung up. All right, this is the HRRR model now we're looking at. So when we go to February the 1st, you can see it kind of has the clouds hanging up. So the HRRR has us not having any clear sky at all both days. All right, it could be wrong. I hope it is, because you don't want to have to wait till it's really bitterly cold to get a clear sky, but that's probably what's going to happen. And again, let's go back to the tropical tidbits model here, and we're just going to go the European model, and I think this will give us the temperature. So the European obviously has been running a lot colder than I don't think we have. This isn't going to go far enough out. We have to use the 12Z run. So the Europeans have been running a lot colder than the other models. So here we are, or at least it had been. So here we are for Friday. You can see we're in the 20s here, and then look at what it does Saturday morning. The European just literally just drops this whole thing down on us Saturday morning below zero for perhaps Long Island and New York City, and single digits for New Jersey. And then for your Saturday, we're struggling to get out of the single digits. We're probably getting to the teens, but some parts of Long Island may not make it above the single digits. That's the European, and as quick as it's in, it's out. So it'll literally be 24 to 36 hours of winter, and then it's gone. So yeah, that's how quick this thing is going to be. But it's interesting how the Euro just has this thing diving down. That we'll have to keep an eye on this, because if this happens, we could have some record cold over here. Wouldn't it be funny? Like I said, this has been the whole story this winter. It's been well above normal, but for a few, maybe a handful of days, just bitter cold on those handful of days, but the rest of the winter above normal. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's just another example of the trouble with our climate. None of this, what you're seeing, is normal. So I guess that's going to wrap up this weather update. And have a good night.